Wait, you're not a Man City fan?
I'm a Manchester United
the
fan.
The whole time I thought you were a Man City fan.
Happy.
For a minute, everyone was a Man City fan.
Yes, we were all hate watching Arsenal. That one I must admit.
Yeah.
But my brother is a Man City fan.
It's a global disappointment. And also now to make matters worse with the Pep send-off. Mm-hmm. Anyway, people are expecting that Man City will go. I don't know how that will go now.
Who's your next head coach?
Enza Maresca?
Pep said he feared Maresca's Chelsea. So maybe there's something.
Fair point.
He's a student.
I would take
of
Company
Pep.
though. I would take Vincent Company.
You all can't get him out of Germany.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Him and Akina Olise winning trophies out there like
trophies,
crazy.
So, but I think I do foresee him coming back. But I also don't think Man City will become a Liverpool.
Well, let's wait and see. To be honest,
the new banter club, Manchester United. The last time you won the league.
What, 9 years ago?
13 years ago.
Oh my God. Me, what I can say about Arsenal, I don't like to congratulate them because it hurts my soul. But they deserve it.
No, they actually they don't deserve it. Controversial take. No, they don't. Mm-hmm. Corner FC.
Fair. No, this season, Wallahi, this season, but I mean, anything to win.
No, but again, I think they've had the longest. I mean, the football wasn't the best, but if they won, they won. So
at the end of the day, what is that quote again?
What quote is that?
Some quote that the means end justifies the means.
Yes, so it's true. Yeah, Arsenal.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, even them right now, they're like, even if we didn't play the best football, we won the league.
We carried the cup. But again, I don't like the bantering about one cup.
Well, it was a quadruple, and then we watched. We all loved the show.
Tomorrow is the day when we are deciding Champions League.
There's no.
I think we've already decided. Yeah.
But what I've been told from what I hear, do not underestimate. Arteta. Because Arteta is actually unbeaten in the Champions League to this point.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
They have a clean streak.
Which is crazy.
But it's also, I think it's... Anyway, I wouldn't want to. Let's just wait to see how tomorrow goes. That's all I can say. Yeah.
But we talking about practice right now.
I've been chasing all my dreams. Failing isn't meant for me. Fuck all of this foolery. This shit be my destiny. The closest ones ignore your cries. Guess the sun don't always shine. Least I know I always tried. Nothing happens overnight. I've been chasing all my dreams. Failing isn't meant for me. Fuck all of this foolery. This shit be my destiny. The closest ones ignore your cries. Guess the sun don't always shine. Least I know I always tried. Nothing happens overnight.
Hiya, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Anthony Maina. This is the Dream Chasers Podcast, episode 10. And with me today, I have NICHOLUS KIOKO.
Thank you for having me in studio.
How you doing, my brother?
Very fine. How are you doing?
I'm existing. Life is good. We are trying not to see all the Arsenal shirts moving around in the world.
Arsenal, I think it's also frustrating. It feels frustrating being a Kenyan at this point, but we are surviving. Yeah, we're managing.
How was your day today?
Pretty decent. Again, I think being a student here is one thing. Trying to juggle that with work. It's a nice bargain. Of course, at the end of the day, you kind of figure out that on one end, something will suffer, another one... sometimes one suffers more than the other one does.
School is just
but today was just okay. It was just a normal day. Had a speaking event at Go My Code. And it was because they're graduating, I think, their cohort, cybersecurity, software engineering, I think, and design. And then we just, talked with them, talked through a couple of things, gave an address. Yeah, and I think it's really encouraging seeing how many people are stepping out of their comfort zones. What I've noticed about people going to some of these schools, like the, where you go take boot camps, etc., I think it's people who are beginners on a lot of things. Like they have some sort of experience. They have domain expertise and knowledge in a particular field. So you'll find a lawyer who's really good with law, but then people are going the extra mile to learn things like cybersec, like Nobody is asking you to do that. But again, it also speaks to the point of where we're heading towards as a country. Not just a country, but the whole world in general. I think we're evolving towards polymaths. So polymaths, by this, it's individuals who are multifaceted, people who can do many things. It's like you're a videographer, but not just a videographer. You're a videographer who does this, and you're a videographer who does this and does this and does this, and that makes you a more wholesome individual and more difficult to replace.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Talk to me about cybersecurity. We're in the age of AI, the age of deep fakes, the age of they could literally make a video of Nick saying fuck the president, and then they accuse you and please do not do this, but this is not somewhere where you come collect ideas.
Someone has borrowed that.
Somebody no, but they might actually take an image of you,
Yeah.
pass it through some image generator, and then they lip sync you saying some very crazy thing.
True, very true.
And then I was actually watching a movie recently, and they pulled up the Instagram reposts of so let me just give context.
A repost.
Let me just give context.
Wow.
So the movie is about a guy whose son killed a girl. So the son is currently under investigation. It's not even a movie, it's a limited series. It's called Adolescence. It's 4 episodes. You should check it out.
I think I will.
So the premise of the movie is that this guy was being investigated, right? And see, like when you go, they bring you in for questioning and all that.
Yeah.
So they pulled his reposts from like his Instagram and his likes, and they were like, do you know how scary I was watching? I watched it in a film in like one of my film classes, and like it hit me. Like you're just out there scrolling, like you might
liking
like
random stuff. Yeah.
like the worst it could be is your friends can judge you because they're like you're a nasty person, or you're an evil person for this. But imagine now you walk into like a police cell and then they're telling you, Nicholas, we've seen unapenda wa mama.
No, that's not true. But we've seen the evidence. It is seeming to suggest. That is, I think, I don't know what the divide is going to be now. Because I think on one end, it's almost impossible to live offline. Like, it's almost impossible to live
You just need
off-grid
the internet too much.
for multiple reasons, right? A lot of the services that we're getting today are centralized on the internet. If you want convenience, it's the internet. But not just that, I think even our brain chemistry has been rewired. And that's because right now we are dopamine junkies. Like the slightest inconvenience will have you feeling frustrated. And people don't realize it's a whole chemistry happening in your mind that has happened over long periods of time because of how like your mind has been accustomed to taking so many hits of dopamine every other time. And that's why one of the things you get to realize is when you disconnect, you've heard of this thing touching the grass.
Yeah.
You just disconnect and go to Karura. You come back and your life is so different. Like you feel so rejuvenated, right? So I think we are increasingly needing to be on the internet because that's where our lives are centralized. I was actually looking at my social media, and I got a TikTok alert yesterday morning. It was a story that I'd posted in 2023, and then it was telling me, look at where you were 3 years ago. I was like, wow, I wouldn't have that without the internet. But now it's like every other thing that I'm having needs to be documented, needs to stay on the internet, right? So on one end, it's good because you get convenience, you get access, you can document things. It's like your digital diary. But on the flip side, I think we also have a couple of things that we are trading off just to continue being on the internet. Now, when it comes to cybersecurity, I think I've seen many people learning. I think people are becoming more devious with time. Especially now with things that like AI, which can synchronize attacks from multiple fronts, and you can barely have a human being who's competent enough to just stop all those attacks at once. So it's like now you've migrated into a new world which was initially peaceful. The worst someone could have done is someone could have scammed you from, this remote place in India or Nigeria or Kenya. And now
It could be anything.
it could be anything. So it was a bit secure, but now the insecurities are also amassing, which I think is the reason why I think cybersecurity is going to be one of the hottest skills that anybody needs to learn.
Yep, I agree. Honestly, I do.
Yeah.
But like, it's shocking where we're headed. Because if they can literally pull your reposts, like you might have been doom scrolling at 3 and then you just...
And the funny thing is, it's not even your fault. Instagram suggested it. It's not my fault. I liked it. Like, why are you putting a blame on me? Yeah.
That's good. Talk to me about tech. Talk to me about startups. I've seen your content online. I really like the way you package your content. It's very educational. Some short format, straight to the point. Let's have it. First of all, let me ask you a question on that specifically. Like, what was the process that made you come about with that process of making content, that funnel of making content like that?
It was not authentic. So I think authenticity is a word that probably we tend to misuse a lot.
It's thrown around too much.
Yes, we throw it around too much. And it's okay. Like, there's a way you can be yourself authentically. But I don't think you can... We as human beings, just as Maina, you can sit somewhere and say, I'm authentically Maina. It's not true. And that's because what I've learned over time, and I think I wrote this in an article back in 2023. It's funny, it actually came to my mind right now. You are 90%, perhaps even more than 90%, the influence of people you've interacted with. Less than 10% is Maina. 90% is Maina looking at an Instagram reel about someone saying something, and then they pick that and say, oh, I like this. And now every other time Maina goes somewhere, they're talking about it like it's me.
That's his opinion now.
Like it's your opinion, but it's not. We're living on borrowed knowledge, borrowed skills, borrowed looks, borrowed, syntax, everything, even our context is borrowed. You're borrowing a lot of experience from multiple people. So I would highly attribute, I'm one person who learns by imitation. When you look at how babies learn, it's typically the same way. A baby will look at you doing something and then they'll do it exactly the same way. The funny thing is, people tend to say learning by imitation is very ineffective when I think it's the fastest way to learn. You don't necessarily need to reinvent the wheel. And for many things, people are trying to reinvent the wheel, which is unnecessary. What you simply need to do is, so what I did, I think if I could break it down to the simplest way possible, it's an obsession I had. So I find someone I like, someone who's doing something I want to do. It's someone I admire. I won't try to come up with anything new. I'll just do exactly what they're doing. Why that is necessary, it's people do things not because they want to do things. People who do things effectively exist in a flow state. Like, you could literally try to do videos the same way Gakuo does, but you would not do it. You could have the same equipment. Why? Because every time he does something, he's in a flow state. Like, his mind enters another dimension. Now, an interesting example. If you want to become smart, maybe one of the experiments I'll give you, go and buy specs.
Specs?
Yeah.
Like?
Yes.
Okay.
Let me tell you why.
I wear glasses a lot, so that I'm not that far off.
And especially if you have an obsession with becoming smart, you'll realize that a lot of the people who have specs are deemed to be smart.
It's like a stereotype.
Exactly. So it rewires your mind in a particular way such that you've won the specs. You're not going to be smart because you're smart. You're going to be smart because you've won specs, and that's what smart people do.
So you look like a smart person.
You might not
actually be a smart person, but because you portray the image of a smart person, it's...
And then your brain cheats itself into actually becoming smart. Because I'm wearing specs, if I read something, it will stick. Just because it's a mental trick. So it's the same thing. I think for me, I observed people, and then I want to do exactly what they're doing. gets me into that mental state. I enter flow state. Every other time when I see what they're doing, what they're posting about, what they're talking about, and how it's important to them, I even get to realize why it matters to them. But it's first, I have to do exactly what they're doing. Or to some extent, I have to learn what they're doing first. Then from what I'm learning from them and what I'm observing from them, I can now figure out my why. But a lot of us are stuck figuring out, should I start with my why first? You won't get your why fast. It's almost impossible. Like, you have to be convinced, like really convinced for you to start something. And it barely happens to every other person. But simply imitate, learn, see what other people are doing. And then as you learn the skill, you learn the consistency that they have, you learn how to show up exactly the same way that they show up, one thing happens. You now begin feeling the emptiness of doing what they're doing. And now what you want to do is translate what you've learned, what you've observed, and put context, which is now within your surroundings. So I'm doing this. I've learned how to do this. I've been doing it exactly like them. I've been doing it because they do it. But now, if I have to continue doing this, what's my relevance for doing it? So for me, that's how I got into content. Ideally, I'm not, and I will say this, in fact, I was not even a very well-spoken person. I mean, yes, I can answer questions. But I'm not the type of person who would have wanted to be the camera.
Look at you now, public speaker.
There we go. Yeah.
Congratulations on that,
Thank
by the
you.
way.
Thank you.
How was it to be like, to be out there? You know, public speaking is a skill that eludes most people. I think like people are just way too shy.
Yep.
Because like, okay, me, the mentality I use whenever I have to like address people in public is they're humans just like you. All of you have defects and you have things that are good about you.
Yes.
So in as much as you're panicking and just do it and get it done.
Yeah.
But it's not that simple, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I found out that people are actually shy of like speaking in public or even like on a platform like this. Because like I reach out to some people and they're like, hey, me. Man, if you put me on camera, my English this, my nini that. So like, what was the process of building your what do I call it, talking skills or conversating skills? Oh my
God, that is perhaps one of the most important questions I've gotten asked, and that's because it has everything to do with my mom. So my mom is a teacher, and I think I had a very difficult time learning as a kid. I had a very difficult time learning. Like even my handwriting, I remember one time.
Don't go there.
I remember that was when I was 10 years old. Then I, moving into grade 4, they now call it grade 4. And she's like, you write like a chicken. Like, that's how bad your handwriting is. And then she took it upon herself. Right now, how I learned to write properly, I copied. There was a girl I remember, I knew, like we were so acquainted. And then she had the best handwriting in that class. You know what I was doing? Tunakaa na yeye side by side. Naangalia vile na shape yo letter A na shape letter A hivyo. And that's how I learned how to write properly, right? Same thing with speaking. But now my mom, I think, was a lot more intentional because within her line of duty, she would get so many opportunities where she would interact with people outside school. So she was very diplomatic. So what would happen is when the school has an external opportunity, she will force me into it. I remember one time there was, I think it's relevant, yes, but I think it was very out of context because, so there were these Chinese people that were coming to our school, and they were basically helping with sanitary health and donations and all that. You know what she did? She told me, you're going to be the one making the speech. I'm like, but choose a girl because it's girls who benefit from this. And no, she insisted. I was the one who gave a speech and the what is it called? The vote of thanks. Talking about how it's going to help us. When you're a kid, you just say anything that comes to mind. You're saying
because...
Yeah. But yeah, so I think that's how I got into it. Those instances would give me so much confidence. And then the other thing is, I think within the 2 years where now I was directly under her tutelage, I experienced the best the biggest academic comeback ever, because like I became a literal academic monster, right? Like I would miss school for maybe a month or two, and I would still come back and beat everybody. I don't know how, I don't know why. So I would say I would attribute
You
that
find
to
it fair? Never me used to. No. This is on like
Oh my God.
subtext basis. Like when I was in high school, there's a friend of mine. Okay, not a friend of mine. There's one of the fellow students that I shared
Yes.
school with.
Yeah.
This guy used to read.
Oh, okay, that's
Like
unfortunate.
this guy used to read for days. What is Anthony doing? Anthony is storytelling. Then he's asleep. Then he wants to go eat canteen
then play
food.
football.
And then come
Yeah.
back, and then exam comes out. Anthony is fast. Him is nowhere. Like,
I think it's a disservice that our education system did us, because it's, frankly speaking, not everybody who's going to be great has to get an A. That's what I've come to learn over the years.
but the
right?
societal,
Yeah, it's just the expectation.
yeah,
is
the
that
pressure
has to
is
get
that, yeah, and it's not getting an A doesn't mean you're
means
smart.
nothing.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, because like you could get that A on paper and then
still broke.
yeah, well,
You get the A on paper, but you don't get the paper.
broke is crazy. Hata ungoji. You have already called us
I am a
broke.
direct victim
You
of the
brokies.
statement. No, I am a direct victim of the criticism. So, yeah.
But now that you've mentioned money, let's talk about money a bit. You said your focus in life on the conversations we were having before this are not centered around power and money. I want to know why. I would like to know why, like, you don't have such strong emphasis on the importance of money and chasing power and being all this and all that. Because in the world of business, unfortunately, that is the name of the game. It's a competition. We are not here to do favors for each other. If you start doing favors for each other, you'll run out of business, and that's not how things work.
So I think I've learned, and one of maybe the biggest, maybe if I were to refocus my life, I would want to learn about people again and again and again, because you realize human psychology is so interesting. And so based on this context, I know two types of people. The first type of people is the grabbers. And actually, I wrote an article on the latest article I did on Substack was just about the same thing. I wrote, I think, on Monday. There are two types of people. There's a grabber, and then there's people who give. And within that article, I was addressing the issue of why actually giving so much for some people is doing damage to them, right? Because there's a subset of individuals who only find fulfillment in life based on how much they have, how much they're attracting, how much they're collecting. And the more these people, these are the same people who will always be on the waiting, the receiving end. Like, they always have their arms wide open. They want to get something, right? And when they can't get whatever they want, then they go out and become the use force and they start grabbing, right? And I don't want to make any references, but I think where we are as a country speaks to that exact analogy. You have people who actually find pleasure in plentiness. Then there's people who find fulfillment. I think my main point for being alive is to look for fulfillment. I think the whole pursuit of life is fulfillment. There's someone who gets fulfilled by getting their cup filled every other day, and they'll never have enough, so they keep asking for more and asking for more. There's another subset of individuals who get fulfillment in life by giving. Doesn't matter how much or how little they have, everything they get, they'll pour into other people's cups, right? I would say I've analyzed myself, and me, I don't necessarily find pleasure in having too much. Like, having too much would cripple me. Like, if I had, like, my brain cannot handle the concept of too much. My brain can handle just enough. It can't handle too much. I feel like there's people who have the drive, and I don't know whether it's okay or not. Maybe it's a psychology. there's people who just want to acquire and acquire and acquire. I think I'm more attuned towards giving, which is why my philosophy, I think, for what I've gathered so far, I mean, I have still a long way to go, but I think why I do what I do every other day is because I believe giving and building is the biggest philanthropic affair. For me, I don't want to receive, because receiving too much does not feel like my gift to the world. And I'm more concerned about my gift to the world than the gift of the world to me. And that's why I don't think I'm so obsessed with how much money do you have, or how much power do you have, or am I concerned that I don't have enough? Not so much. So, of course, you want to have enough. Then there's always a definition of enough in your head. There's always a definition of too much money in your head.
I don't think I have a definition of too much money in my head.
Very interesting. Are you a grabber?
I don't know. I think I need to ask my ancestors because I'm not sure. I don't agree with the concept of billionaires, because like a billion is a lot.
Maybe.
But again, people have different things that brought them here. Some people came here to actually be billionaires, and that's what they want to do. And some people don't want to do that. So the ones who don't allow those who want to be. So
I think I have a problem with, for me, it's not even how much money. Because when I look at most billionaires, for instance, I think they're still broke people. They don't necessarily have $1 billion or 1 billion shillings in their account.
It's an alleged.
It's an asset.
So it's a valuation,
so
basically.
It's a valuation of how much they have been able to build, right? Someone has built a company worth $1 billion. Now let's look at what that $1 billion actually means. It means there's someone who's eating money from that. There's someone who has a job from that. There's someone who's getting to supply to the company from that, right? I don't have a problem with billionaires. What I do have a problem with, and that's why I don't think we can ever quantify what too much is, right? I don't think we can ever quantify too much is. How you know something or someone is greedy is you rationalize what they have against what they are giving, or what they are benefiting others based on what they have. That's when you realize we have a colloquium of individuals, a group of people who just want to take, and the net contribution to society is almost zero. Now that someone could have only 1 million shillings, but they've gone through hell getting that 1 million shillings. They've taken people through hell to get that 1 million shillings, but the net effect on society is negligible. That person is a lot greedier than someone who has 1 billion that is contributing to society in one way or another. So I don't necessarily have because if we don't have them, what it means is these people have been able to make money out of thin air. They took an asset that was useless, they converted into something useful, and they've done that repeatedly in long enough, continuing to provide that value to the point where the empire they have is worth that amount of money. But you have someone who has their 50 million and net contribution to society is zero. They are a lot worse than someone who has $1 billion in their bank account.
Right. Talk to me about building startups, because we're already there. We're literally talking about building and all that. What's the process like for someone who has like no idea what a startup is? Like, explain it to me like a 6-year-old child.
Interesting. So I think in the recent times, I've seen people confusing startups for small businesses. I think maybe I like to make that clarification. So a startup, in my opinion, not in my opinion, but a startup, one of the definitions I give is it's a group of people that are working towards a common goal, which is usually a lot of times solving a problem. So a startup is a group of people who tend to share the same ideals, because again, if you have a group of people who don't share the same ideals, it's almost impossible to break through in a market. That's the first thing. The second definition of it, it's not even actually within that core statement is now what actually a startup is. It's just trying to solve a common problem, which is why, again, I say this. People have different motives for building things, but I tend to say the one who stays the longest in the game might not always be the most profitable one, but they'll be fulfilled. The one who stays the longest in that game is the one who understands the why. And a lot of the times, the why is usually a problem so painful, like
That
it
they're
actually
willing to
hurts
endure.
you. Like you're willing to go through whatever is thrown your way just to see the 20 people that you've seen with that problem actually living a better life, right? So a startup is a group of people who share a lot of ideals, and especially around an area of commonality, which is an observed problem, an experienced problem, an experienced inconvenience. And what they want to do is they want to bring the resources that they have, all of them centralize the resources that they have to try and solve the problem and make it easier for somebody else somewhere.